SOSG, 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 standing on solid ground.
Hello, this is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. I am your host of this motivational and inspirational podcast. And today's Bible verse, Isaiah 41:10. Fear thou not, for I am with thee. Be not dismayed, for I am thy God. I will strengthen thee, yea, I will help thee, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. And if we look up the word dismay, to deprive of that strength or firmness of mind which constitutes courage, to discourage, to dishearten, to sink or depress the spirits or resolution, hence to affright or terrified. God don't want us to be afraid. When He asks us to do something, we need to have the faith, the courage, the strength, the utmost power in God. In other words, when God is our power source, we don't have anything to be afraid of but God. Now, I will say to be afraid of God, because if you disobey Him, there's going to be other issues and problems that we will be facing. And children of Israel found that out the hard way. God would bless them as long as they did well. God would curse them when they disobeyed. And it is so simple that we make it complicated. We make it complicated. God doesn't make it complicated. We make it complicated for ourselves. And the reasons why I believe that we make it complicated, because we find it hard to do the right thing. We find it hard, or sometimes not exciting, to do the right thing, because we want to do what we want to do, and we'll deal with the punishment later. But sometimes that there may not be a later. Sometimes it will not be a situation where we can go back and fix it, correct it. God can take our lives at a snap of a finger, just to speak the word. He can just put out the words and say, it's time for them to go. He can just simply call your name, and that's it. And those are the risks that we do not want to take, especially with God. And He said, fear thou not. He doesn't want us to be afraid. For I am with thee. I am, meaning that it's a definite. It's definite. It's not a might be. It's not a maybe. It might be sometimes. I am with thee. That's with confidence, a surety. Be not dismayed. Don't be discouraged. Don't be troubled. Don't worry about it. I got your back. For I am thy God. In other words, He made it personal. I am thy God. I am your God. I am your God. I will strengthen thee. I will give you strength, or make you powerful. Yea, yes, I will do that. I will help thee. Whatever it is that He is asking us to do, He will provide us the help that we need to get it done. Yes, yea, I will uphold thee with the right hand of my righteousness. I will keep you lifted up in my righteousness, as long as we do the right thing. Now, we can't benefit from these guarantees and we're not doing the right thing in God's eye. We cannot benefit from his blessings and we're sinning. We're living an unrighteous life. That doesn't jive with God, because he'll drop you at that point. And you say, well, you know what? I'm going to put you down right here and I'm going to let you do you. Because this is not me. I'm going to let you do you. And God is very specific about that. God is very temperament about his word and about his promises. It's up to us to believe in it. And when we make the choice that against all odds, no matter what, we're going to believe in God, then God going to do his thing. God is going to keep his promise. We just have to believe in his promises. Have faith in what he tells us. It sounds like it's not very hard to do, but the reasons why it's difficult, because the devil is not going to allow your mind to rest. He's not going to allow your mind to rest. He is not going to allow you to have peace, knowing that God is with you. That no matter what odds come your way, you're not going to get discouraged. Paul, perfect example. He was the perfect example of that. That no matter what came against him, he fought his way through by the grace of God. For he knew God was with him. When God visits you personally, meaning when he comes to you face to face, however he comes to you, however, whatever image he comes to you, and he say, do this, do it. Don't question it. Don't scratch your head about it. Don't try to figure out whether or not it was God. You know it's God. Because God is very distinct. He is very, very, very particular about how he comes to his people. When we take his ministries and do something wrong with it, that's when he becomes grievous. Look at King Solomon, prime example. Now God gave him the desire of his heart, wisdom. And he said, because you didn't ask me of the fine clothes and the nice home and this, I'm going to bless you anyhow with all that stuff, because you asked me for something as simple as wisdom. That's what you asked me for. And I'm going to give you that and then some. But God also told him, do not familiarize yourself with strange women. The strange women is in reference to those that worship other gods. That's what that meant. As long as he stayed with the women that worshiped God, the same God that he worshiped, God was fine. But the minute he stepped out, because he had all these women, he can have as many women as he wants. As long as they were with that familiar spirit, as long as they were with God, they worship the same God that he worshiped. That's why, and later on in the New Testament, it was stated that a believing person should not be with an unbeliever. We should not be unequally yoked. And there was a reason for that. That is the same concept, but just in the New Testament, said, be ye not unevenly or unequally yoked with unbelievers. Because that unbeliever can have a strong force on them, especially demonically. That strong force can pull you away from God. And that's not what God wants. He wants you to be equally yoked so you can come to God together. That's why he told Solomon, Don't get with unfamiliar or strange women because they worship other gods. God is very meticulous about that. But when you recognize yourself in a situation where you're following Christ and that other person is not following Christ, you separate yourself. You've already separated yourself in a marriage anyway because you're not walking the same way. You're walking in two different directions. The marriage is already in the form of divorcement. It's already separated because one is going one way and the other one is going another. But if Satan had that strong hold to pull that saint his way, in other words, he would try to defeat God. Again, I always believe God and Satan play chess. And you know why I say they play chess? If you think about it, you had prophets, you had priests, you had kings, you had judges. And if you think of the pieces that are on the chess game, you have a king, you have a queen, you have the rook, and all the other pieces. I don't know them all. My son played chess. I'm not a chess player, but I know a few. And I know that they are referred to as pieces. And every time God make a move, Satan make a move. And every time God make another move, Satan make another move. The object here is Satan already know he can't win. But he wants to take away the saints of God that God has called. So, right now, when husbands and wives are traveling two different ways, there are those that are with the white pieces, and those are God's pieces. And then or they call them ivory, but I consider, white or lighter color. And then there's the black pieces, Satan's pieces. And Satan is trying to get as many of God's pieces as he possibly can. He can't beat God at the game. But he can try to take as many of his saints as he possibly can. The problem is God is not going to give up. And what will happen is God learned how to play the game, or he know how to play the game. He didn't learn it, but he know how to play the game so well. He know how to get those pieces back. See, God have a new way of playing his game. He know how to get those pieces back if they want to come back. That's the difference. Again, the Bible verse of today is Isaiah 41:10. God does not want us to fear, especially when he's called us to do a will for him. He doesn't want us to be discouraged. He doesn't want us to be afraid. He wants us to believe that he is with us. He will give us the strength. He will help us, and he will uphold us. But we have to believe. This is Kim with Standing on Solid Ground. You have yourself a wonderful and blessed day.